Hello, and welcome to another Artcast. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a commission I did of Marco, and his stand. That's would be young Marco and future Marco from the show Star versus Evil. And and a stand. This is basically, I believe, from someone's fanfic or fan fiction. And I believe I got the honor of having the first depiction of kung fu fighting. Yes, stand. Stand is in JoJo. Yeah, this was this. How can I put this? This commission was a saga. First of all, let's see. As you can see, I'm fairly quite a bit into it as we're starting out. Unfortunately, the hard drive that I had, the files contained on it, and also other projects and saved footage. Like I had like the entire Gravity Falls, all the seasons, all the shows on that hard drive. I had everything of Pete and Pete. I would go to the library and I would go and just basically collect footage of maybe possible future familiar faces. And it was a bummer when that thing got smashed. It was just sitting on the table. It fell off, and it did that thing where the hard drive goes click, 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 click. And that wasn't fun. Even now, you can see I've done something where I've minimized one window that was supposed to be capturing, and so you're going to see a ton and tons of little arrows pop up. That should go away in maybe about 30 seconds. So it's the last season of JoJo? No, I don't believe it's not. Maybe they've gotten up to the comic. I don't know. Hey, Omalin, how's it going? But yeah, that was depressing. Also, it took me, maybe this is like, it took a year to do this commission because I just kind of, I don't know, what can I tell you? That was a rough 2 years. There was this, I got depressed because I lost a bunch of familiar face projects. I don't know if, you know what, I don't know if I actually get depressed, when I get depressed, I don't stop, but I don't focus on the things I enjoy. I kind of just get immersed into other things my family does. Like I was working a lot with my uncle who needed the help getting started with his little business out in Surprise. He needed someone to kind of ring him in and help him with painting and stuff like that. I think he's pretty much got that down pat now. He's sort of learned how to manage projects on his own. And I've been with Grandma for like the past year or so. Around this time I was starting this commission, she was having a real problem with her anemia. I'm glad to report I have a series of notes here. And I think at the time of the start of this commission, she was at a blood hemoglobin level of 8. I'm glad to report that she's at 14, which is actually normal. So, yeah. Just overall, I'm just in a much better place than I was when I started this commission, and I apologize for the horrible long wait that it took me to actually try and get it in order. Chad, hey everyone. Hey Johnny 2x4, how's it going? Surprised no one's drawn Red wearing Ivy's costume. Tim Burton design. Let's see. But yeah, I've sort of finally been getting things together. I have new equipment. I have the setup. If you've watched the Battle Wagon episode of Thrifty Finds, you'll see that I've got a decent a decent recording rig out in the garage where I could just go out there, work on something in here, have it set to process, go out there and start working on another project. And then also have it sit out there, especially when it comes to like battle damage, pardon me, cheap damage. Like the board game, I could just leave the board game sit out there, and it won't bother anyone, and I don't have to worry about cleaning it up immediately or having it in my anywhere where we live. I also started the new year. Officially started a gaming channel. That would be over on it's called Guess I'll Play. I'll have it featured in the link. Hello, Dapini. How's it going? I've been a fan for the longest time. It's an honor to see you live, and I find it super cool to follow you on Twitter. Well, thank you so much. That's always a pleasure. As someone with anemia myself, that's great. My grandmother had her pipes burst today in Texas. Oh yeah. Just prayers. I mean, legitimate prayers, not phony baloney Republican gun violence prayers. Like legitimate. I'm sitting here and I have people in Texas, fans of course, that I don't know what to do. I offered to send them money, and they literally said to me, "Where are we going to spend it?" And I was like, it's like, yeah, maybe we'll start a drive or something afterwards. Hello, Carter Wright. But we, I just... And freaking Ted Cruz getting on a plane and leaving in the middle of all this, and then blaming his kids. I mean, I'm one to talk. I really am. But at least I fess up and say that I'm a kind of a horrible person for putting all my commissions and the show on the back burner. But hey, you know what? While I do that, I'm at least doing stuff around the house. I've repaired 3 cars, painted 6 houses, put up drywall. I try to be productive in places where if I feel like the creative artwork isn't paying off, I try to find other things to do. Which, by the way, I've got a few things. I've got another side job, and everything's starting to pick up. Everything's starting to pick up. Knock on wood. But yeah, I'm legitimate. I'm sorry, we have to preface that, where you have to say legitimate prayers and well wishes to Texas, and then hopefully try to figure out what we can do. All I could done is maybe retweet helpful survival stuff. I believe that I was thinking about adding little cheek, icons or tattoos or whatever Star and her lineage have. And it was going to be like little, almost like those big pads that it's hands. Of course it's hands, but it was going to look like those big pads that Sandy and SpongeBob use to fight karate. But I just decided against that. I don't know. I could add that in later at the behest of the commissioner. I did have to go in afterwards and add some more tattoos and scars to older Marco. But yeah, I'll have some links I'm really trying to get that thing. Oh, wow, I'm really redlining. I'm trying to get that started on just as a little side project for gaming, because I do play a lot of games and it's relaxing. I don't play a lot of games, but there is maybe like a 1 hour chunk of the day where I just need a break. And if I can, who said it best? If I could just monetize every bit of my life, I think that would work out fine. Hello, Omar. How's it going? Let's see. What else do I have in my notes? Uh, I'm a Girl Scout leader. This is kind of crappy camping trip for me. Grandma's in memory care facility, so the busted pipes is just one more thing we gotta before selling the house. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, that's never good when a pipe's bust. I remember being now this was years ago. I forget what it was. Oh, what art program am I using, by the way? I'm using Paint Tool Saya, and I'm using a XP Pen drawing tablet. I believe it's called an Artist 12. It's relatively affordable at maybe $250. They have some other ones, some brands that I don't know of that are maybe 150 if you're looking for just a drawing tablet. This was actually a huge plunge for me, um, because I always wanted one of these, but I that at a time 250 was a that was not chump change for me. So I finally bit the bullet, and it was worth it because my output increased many fold. So if you're looking for one, I suggest I suggest investing in one. And if I mean I like I said I must have talked about this 100 times, but I started with like a cheap $50 digital tablet. They sell them relatively affordable if you can get your hands on it. See if your equipment can hold up to it. I was actually also worried if my computer could run with this, and I did find a setting in Paint Tool that helps. It's called Environment, and I believe it's under Options. And if you click Options and then scroll down, and it says what kind of environment do you want, and there's normal, high, and then I guess the highest. There's three settings, and I always go for the highest, and that I guess that means how fluid your pen responds to your movements. And yeah, I found it actually helps quite a bit. The only downside is my computer isn't, I guess, powerful enough to have it operate on that all the time, because whenever I try to transform something with the lasso tool or move something, it freezes up and takes much longer. So there's a trade-off to it. But luckily, I just go in that one setting. It's a quick setting, so I just turn that when I need to move things around a bit and get the positions and everything correct. I just turn that off, and then I use the lasso tool and transform all I want, and then pop it back on. It didn't get buggy when I did that thing right there with the neck. It's it didn't do that because that's a relatively small area, and it didn't take up a lot of memory to perform that operation. If it's a bigger spot, like if I wanted to do the whole thing, like shrink a character or change the perspective of the whole drawing, then it would have really chugged there. Okay, there was a question. I noticed you abuse in but I know you changed it to review. I noticed you review in comics the past. Do you by chance know any Alan Moore's 1963? No, I don't. I thought he started being published around the 80s. Is 1963 like a is it a line of comics or like a one of his projects? Since it's Alan Moore's 1963, I guess it is a comic line. Hello, Andre. How's it going? This was actually a fun drawing to do, nice and detailed. I believe the only change that they wanted for the model of older Marco was a few more tattoos and the cape to be replaced the old hoodie. Um, do, do, do. Alan Moore's 1963 Okay, 1960. So it definitely popped up. As a 6-issue comic limited series in 1993. Okay, so he did that thing. I'm not familiar with this, but I am familiar with. Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be some sort of Fantastic Four analog. Um, and by Image Comics. Very good. It. I remember he did something like that for. Was it still Image, or he did some sort of adventuring comic where he would jump around from point to point in the story. It was about some sort of adventurer. He was a scientific adventurer, and he would. It was very charming, and it wasn't at all like grotesque or cynical like Watchmen was. It was almost seemed very, very genuine in a way. Um, I'm trying to think something Sterling, something. Uh, he was a. I have the first two issues in a drawer back home. It was something where he was a super scientist. He wore basically a red suit with like a silver triangle in the middle and his emblem. Tom Strong, yeah, that's it. He was a scientist. He had a daughter. His daughter married a lava person from the middle of the earth. He had a. He was the son of an inventor, and his father invented a steam-powered robot that talked with wax cylinders. And that was his butler. And then he had a gorilla who spoke British. He lost his first girlfriend in a what was it, like an ice villain attacked, and he lost his first girlfriend, and then he found out that his first girlfriend actually became like an ice person as well, and those two married. It was actually, like I said, it was almost sincere. It was just like looking into just an alternate universe of this character that never existed, and it was wonderful. And I believe they also had the adventures of this. In the same issue, it was this kid, and he was a farm boy, but he was a super genius. He was a super genius in the way of the absolute absurd. He would make inventions that really shouldn't be able to work, but they kind of did or didn't, but they operated in absurd logic, and it was always funny. I remember going into what was it? There was two comic book stores. Oh, there's two comic book stores near ASU. Two comic book stores near ASU campus. I'm trying to think of what their name was. One was down the road, and I barely ever went to it. I went there a few times, and it was interesting because I think I was going there to try and find some specific issues that the other one didn't have. Pop Culture Paradise was one of them, and it was right next to a print store. I remember going and finding that place because I needed copies of all my a portfolio I needed. You needed to make a bunch of portfolios, and hey, Hats Off Media, how you doing? Oh, I'll get back to that comic book story real quick. Hi, CR. Literally used to watch you in middle school after the Baby Doll episode in Nostalgia Critic. I'm glad you're still doing stuff. Enjoying the stream and hope you're doing well. You literally helped me make speed art, so hella thanks. Oh, thanks, Sad Robot. I'm so glad that you were able to get something out of this. And hello, Hats Off Media. I've been following you on Twitter, and I've quite been enjoying it. Yeah, Pop Culture Paradise was great. It was one long store. It was almost shaped like a trailer. And he had tables in the middle, and you would kind of walk around counterclockwise. Sometimes someone would stop and stand and look at something, and so you'd have to kind of there was not really enough room to get around because there was always I'm a fairly big guy and I was always self-conscious and there was always other bigger people there. Um, so you would have to stop and kind of wander around the table. They had VHSs. God, I'm just thinking of comic book stores. I should find another comic book store. I stopped going to them after I sort of um, I lost some income. Now I sort of have it back, but I've been spending it on commissions. So yeah. Uh, I'm trying to think where's a good comic book store. I know they still have Samurai Comics, but that's in the middle of town, uh, downtown, and I don't barely ever go there anymore. Then there's I don't know. It's more of a flea market for comic book stuff, and that's further down. They don't have one around here, which I find to be weird since there are sort of specialized stores. Um, but yeah, I'm just having a huge nostalgia trip. That's where I first started getting into other like alt comics. Nothing sinister. I mean, like again, like the Image and like the sort of um, like independent comics, and also just the underground stuff that Marvel was uh, just starting to push out. Like they relaunched the Power Pack with Guru back when they were first starting up. Back when their style was like really blocky, and I always enjoyed those early runs. I think Paul Dini was the writer of the original Power Pack of the 2006. Let's see. Hold on a second. Power Pack 2005? Was it 5 or 6? No, I don't need a jack. Okay, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So they must have been going earlier. So this is Spider-Man and the Power Pack from 2006. So that was maybe like 3 or 4 years into their new run. So this must have been 2004. Power Pack 2004. No, thank you. Nope. Okay, that's too far back. I want to see. I want to see who the writer was. Power Pack 2005. I remember they changed writers and they started to write. They started to write. Here we go. It was 2005. They started to write the little girl. At first, she was just kind of sassy and sort of intelligent, but in one issue they started writing her really juvenile, and I noticed that's when they changed the writer. I'm not getting a. Okay, it says I'm looking at the official Marvel website, but they're not giving a writer for any of this. Huh. Hold on a second. Power Pack. Let me just look at Wikipedia. Good old Wikipedia. Also, I got into Power Pack, and I was getting really into Marvel. DC not so much. I think I'd really enjoyed the run of Superman and Batman, where they actually went to a parallel Earth where it was like their version of the Avengers, or the ones that could at least be published in DC. They had like Thor was replaced by a frost giant. Uh, what was it? It was Thor was replaced by a frost giant. So Captain America was just replaced by someone named Soldier. Hey, Chaos White 182, how's it going? Oh, anyway, let me look at this publication. Okay, the 2004 miniseries. Okay, it doesn't give a writer for this either. Shit, why the hell are you... Why can't I find the writer for that one special? Screw it. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to go to What is it? Comics. Oh, here. Let's see. Power Pack 2005. Writer. I'm almost certain it's Paul Dini. Almost certain. Oh wait, no, it's Mark Sumerak. Sumerak. Huh, why did I think it was Paul Dini? Something must have got crossed in my my memories. Huh. Well anyway, good on you, Mark. That's Mark with a C. But I also got really into at that time. What was it? The young or the New Warriors. There was also a young run of the New Warriors where they introduced a character called Microbe, and I really liked that character. I think he could have. I think I got to do a familiar face on Microbe. He of course died in the onslaught of Civil War, which was this long, pointless affair in Marvel. And that's actually when I sort of got out of comics. It was like, you've sort of ruined everything. I was enjoying all these nice characters, and you kind of just pissed on it with all you being weird. I didn't like characters like Mr. Fantastic or Dr. Xavier, and they were all part of one supergroup called the Illuminati, and that's why I didn't really. What's that peeking up behind me? Oh, that's a little weird. Almost like I have a Picardo or something. Oops. I think I'll need to deal with that a little later, or make sure that don't happen again. But yeah, I was sort of getting into all these other characters and having a lot of fun with them, and then all of a sudden that happened. And I was still enjoying the Marvel comics. There was also a comic I picked up at the time, basically where it was Marvel Team Up, and it was all of them versus. It was a whole team of. They weren't the Avengers, but they might as well have been. It was like She-Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and some others, and they were fighting against some sort of super Skrull, and they were trying their best, and they were sort of they were falling short, and then something happened. I forget. Something happened where they basically broke his brain and he squished his own head. It was weird, but I enjoyed it, and I was enjoying those adventures. And then, like I said, Civil War happened, and everything got morose and just depressing, and just I bailed out. I followed up to what was happening to some characters. There was also the Great Lake Avenger. There was the Great Lake Avengers that I was also really enjoying. Actually, that thing I just did, right there where I couldn't say Great Lake Avengers. There was one time when they showed up into a card game tournament that was being run by The Thing. The Thing always has this annual poker tournament, and the team, I think Scarlet Witch made it so that they can't say the word Avengers. Yeah, or they got a lawsuit or something. There was something where they got a lawsuit from the Avengers, and then they weren't able to call themselves. Oh, it was the X-Men. They weren't allowed to call themselves the Great Lake X-Men because they were all mutants. But yeah, shit, man. I liked all the weird, goofy stuff. I didn't like to the extent of like the Silver Age, but I liked it when they were they would. I just didn't like Civil War, and it turned me off to the whole damn thing. Ironically, it was supposed to revitalize their I guess their market. You were supposed to go and collect all the different comics that were going on between the issues, and you had that big Civil War thing that ran underneath it. And again, I just did not care for any of what that was going on. I stuck to maybe the power pack, and they killed off most of the young warriors, so I didn't really give a crap about what happened to them. Um, and then again, Great Lake, I guess they sort of cleaned up out of that because of the fallout of Civil War. Stark became the head of Shield, and he did the superhero initiative, where basically if you just sign up, you can become part of a superhero team. And of course, the Great Lake Avengers were the first in line, and they became a state sanctioned superhero team, and they had a lot of adventures. And they met up at Deadpool, and yeah, that was fun. I followed them around. I haven't checked out their newest issue. I know it has something to do with, like, it focuses on them getting a new werewolf character. Or not a werewolf. I believe they specifically mentioned that it's not a werewolf and more like a fursona. Hey, Super Spo, how's it going? You did a Jesse thing. You posted a Jesse picture on Twitter that I quite enjoyed the other day. What was it? Oh yeah, and it had some. I guess the main story had something to do with Big Bertha, or I got to check that out. Again, I've told you I've fallen off comics. I've sort of been spending those extra money just kind of bumming around on the internet and giving those to commissions to other people. Someone did a wonderful commission of Isis Vanderchill for me just recently, and I can't quite. They have the pink flamingo icon, and I can't for the life of me remember. I'm horrible with names, but they do fantastic work. It's on there. Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to tell you I believe the detail that the in the description of Kung Fu Fighting, it was says she has cartoonishly large breasts, and so I kind of just I made them as big as wide as her head, and I figured that was enough. I didn't want to go. I know that you can go bigger, but I wanted to sort of maybe have it believable within the show. So yeah, that's about as. And oh, also another detail. I tried to blend all the different kind of certain traits from all the certain kind of girls in Marco's life. I think she's got the bangs of she has Star's eyes. She has Jackie's front bangs, I believe. Actually, no, she's got Heckaboo's eye color. She's got Heckaboo's eye color. Jackie's sort of face, or I believe it's a combination of Jackie and Star's face shape. But the bangs are hers. Hey, so, what's up, NY? How's it going? Um, Hold on, let's see. What do we? I think I missed something. Um, no, I just lost track. Uh, so yeah, I tried to do blend it and just make it kind of a blend of all the different characters that he may or may not have had a crush on. Power's back. Oh, wonderful. Hey, Miss Wilkins. Oh, I'm so glad. Like I said, hey, my legitimate prayers were answered. You have to preference legitimate, unless, not fake Republican prayers, legitimate non-Republican prayers. I'm so glad. Do you need anything? Can I send you anything? I mean, I hate to put you on black, but I just now realized as the words were coming out of my mouth that maybe saying that in the middle of an art stream live is not the most tactful thing to do. But really, that's really my first response. Hit me up on Twitter if you need anything. Worms, hello. Monk, how's it going? Doing good, CR. Getting back into drawing after 2000 hit me hard. Yeah, 2020 hit me hard too. I find that I do have better luck in years that end with odd numbers. So maybe 2001 will be our year. I forget what it was, but I had an exceptionally good year in 2011. God, that's a decade ago. What am I talking? I'm an old man now. Shit. Uh, Working on a pants. But yeah, like I said, this was sort of, and I actually did enjoy doing this commission because I found that the poses really came out nicely. I'm looking at it now, and I'm thinking maybe his arm's a little bit long. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm seeing. Well, actually, no. In proportion. In proportion, it's okay because his other arms forward. Maybe I could have shrunk the foot a little to maybe do the proportions a little better. And this one's cuffed and that one's loose, so it's fine. Do. Anyway, did Miss Wilkins say anything? I missed her powers back. Okay, good. That's what she said. But yeah, if you guys want to also follow, there seems to be a big crowd right here. And so if you also want to follow me on shoot, hell, I'll just drop it in the damn link. Let's see. Guess. Yeah, here we go. I'll just drop it in right now while you're all here. I've converted a... Whoa. Okay. Don't do that. Internet, don't do that. Huh. I can hear something. What's... Okay. Anyway, must be my imagination. But anyway, God, I'm just so glad. My aunt is up back there a little bit. My aunt is back there a little bit up. She's in Oklahoma. She's still having some problems with stuff. But other than that, I think she's doing good too. I had to explain to Mom and Grandma and Aunt Shirley. Aunt Shirley started saying something like, "Oh, they've turned off the electricity because they're trying to help Texas." And I was like, "What? How?" And she says, "Well, I guess they're sending power to Texas." And I said, "Well, first of all, Texas is completely off the grid. They have their own sort of, hey, Matt, they have their own sort of grid that they're working. That's why they've basically made it so that they can skirt federal regulations in order to." Oh, that's that channel I just posted. It's a video gaming channel, and I tend to play either every other night. I did a stream of Ghostbusters that people really seem to enjoy. So, yeah, if you want to give that a shot. But as I was saying, I had to explain to them what the situation with Texas is and how they basically sort of skirted the whole. I don't even know. I never even realized it myself what was going on. They've basically just cut off the main power flow so they can have their own statewide regulation of what was going on. And they mainly function off of natural gas, which sucks because, hey, here in Arizona, at least we got Palo Verde. It's a waterworks, and that's how we get some of our electricity. Um, we're going to have our own power grid with blackjack and hookers. Yeah, pretty much. No, it's a remastered of the 2009 version for the PS4. It was really fun. I tried it on the medium hardness, and it was just tedious. So I dropped it, and we managed to like that. That was a little bit more. That was a little bit more enjoyable after that. I tried it on the different levels or the different difficulties, and it turns out that the higher level of difficulty was just like more busy work. The the ghosts were a little bit more harder, and it's not like they improved the targeting of anything. We also went into a huge discussion about how they did not implement what was clearly supposed to be part of the original, which was character creation. You just play as the rookie, which I assume at some point you were supposed to be able to customize how your character looked, which I guess they didn't add, which is fine. I said it at the beginning. They were working with a new physics engine. Physics were the big selling thing about that game, and they were probably just like burning everything they had to make it look nice on that end. Remastered's fine. It's just the same game. It's a fun movie game. It's not. I wouldn't say I would replay it a lot. Although there were points where I was starting to actually realize that the game itself was not an action game. It was more of a puzzle game where you had to figure out what power to use, when to use it, and how to use it. Like I would get stuck on levels where they'd want me to use a certain power. I would use the blast. Well, although, hey, you know what? I'll take it back. One power was absolutely useless. Never used it, never touched it after it was introduced. It was the orange blaster power where you would hit something with an object and then just kind of you can it's kind of like that gun from the Fifth Element. You know when the guy when Commissioner Gordon, he shoots the dummy and then he can turn around and just fire the gun indiscriminately in the air, and all the bullets will follow that one target. It's kind of like that. But it was useless. But the blue power you need to use, because the blue power is what makes you... It destroys everything. Especially all the swarming enemies that are a real pain in the ass. Zorg. Okay, thank you. But what's the actor's name? I just know him as Commissioner Gordon. God, I told you I'm horrible with names. Anyway, this is kind of running down. I need to do more Art of Heckaboo. She's just adorable. And she's pretty much the same voice actress behind Star Butterfly, right? It's just her kind of being more confident and a little bit more gruffer. Like Star is here, and then she's down here. Do you guys like my new virtual icon? I've been using it on the gaming channel. It's great for not having to set up lights or a camera. Gary Oldman. God, I was thinking about that. Thank you. But anyway, yeah, I do that so that way I don't have to drag any lights or a camera into this one bedroom. And I can just yeah, I faded the bottom of her leg so you can kind of see through it. Yeah, there's me checking my notes. I should have read the part, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't clip the part where it said add tattoos. We got 5 seconds. I wonder what will happen at the end. Will it repeat? Nope, it just went away. Here we go. Pop, pop. There we go. There's the end product. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I think it turned out really well. I was going to say she's a little bit bigger than Marco, but if you look at the logic, Marco and them are standing behind, and then she's kind of projected in front. So I think that's like a really nice... Yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. Yeah, it's great, except for one, the little VR. We're going to do a whole video on the VR avatar, so we'll wait for that. And I really do like the sound bars. Although every time I try to set up the sound bars with a different player, it's always weird. I'll go over it then. Anyway, this is Marco. I quite enjoyed this one, and I guess that's it for this Artcast. I will see you all in the next one.